Alright, so as always with these album reviews, we're gonna go track for track. I'm gonna give you my thoughts on some of my favorite tracks, give you my thoughts on some of the tracks that I didn't really like, and then I'll give you my overall thoughts on the project as a whole. And yeah, but before we get into the review, I just want to say if J. Cole's purpose was to spark debate on substance abuse, I think he definitely succeeded in that as well. But I saw a lot, like, even though he addresses substance abuse as a separate entity on the album, I saw a lot of people mainly talking about the newer wave of trap artists, and I want to say certain trap artists that aren't lyrical, and mainly he's addressing trap artists that glorify drugs and substance abuse and are really young. I know there's different kinds of trap music, but he was mainly addressing like the new wave of younger artists that are around 15, 16 that glorify, like, you know, like out for some names, Lil Pump, Lil Xan, like those type of artists. He was mainly addressing them, and I saw a debate between like J. Cole and his generation and the generation before him of hip hop and the rappers compared to like the new generation coming up. And not all new generation rappers rap like this. There's a lot of great musicians, a lot of great rappers that are spitting some real shit, that are as young as like Lil Pump and all them. But you just have to dig for it. So yeah, let's get right into the review. Alright, so let's get right into the track listing. So track 1 is intro. It's a dialogue basically about a baby's two forms of communication. And I don't know if it's just me, but I really hate the voice they picked for like the concept of this album. Like, I get it's supposed to be like a medical prescription, like robotic voice, but her voice is so like dead annoying. It features J. Cole singing on jazzy instrumental in the beginning, which I did enjoy. I just really don't like this robot's voice. Like, it's so annoying. But moving on, we have track 2, KOD, the title track, and this is one of my favorite songs from the album. Just the chorus, how hard the chorus and the instrumental go, make it for me. It's just fire. And he has a couple lines saying how like he addressing why people, like, he doesn't have any features in his album because he's basically saying like, oh, you guys aren't worthy of being on my album, which is like a great bragging line, which I do love. Basically saying like, you guys ain't good enough to hop on my shit, which I do love. So yeah, and he slays the end of verse 1 where he plays on the word like tip and like the iceberg. I do enjoy that. And like at the end of verse 2, he also snaps where he's like, he plays on the word practice a bit, and then he also makes an Eminem reference where he's like, he has a line where it goes, I started a few M's like my last name was Shady, and I thought that was pretty cool and clever. So yeah, overall, great song, definitely one of my favorite. The title track is one of my favorite. I feel like every title track always goes hard. So moving on, we have track 3, Photograph. Now this was an interesting song. It's essentially about J. Cole, how like digital love has become, and like him scrolling on Instagram and hoping a girl will follow him back, and he can't wait to see her again, and he hopes she follows him back so he can talk to her. And kind of interesting. I feel like I mean, it's been done before, but I feel like J. Cole brings like a fresh approach to this, because he makes a reference to Instagram, and basically the whole song's concept is how like love and relationships are so digital now. They don't have to be, but a lot of them are. So yeah, interesting concept song. I did enjoy it as well. I did love the chorus on this too. And I saw a lot of people, let me just address this. I saw a lot of people like saying J. Cole has never, well, early in his career, his songs were very, because of his first album and like the label putting pressure on him to make hit songs and whatnot, his songs had a heavy chorus present. But I feel like as he matured as an artist, following his Forest Hill Drives and For Your Eyes Only, he realizes that choruses aren't really, he's a hip-hop artist, so choruses aren't really that important. I feel like he's focusing more on the verses, and I saw some people like reading his album saying like the choruses don't go as hard as they should. And maybe, I mean, you could debate that, but I feel like J. Cole has never been the artist to have like, well, he early in his career, yeah, but I feel like later in his career, when he like matures, when he did mature, I feel like he realized that choruses and like pop records aren't really his thing, and you rather like spit a message. So I saw a lot of people debating on whether or not the choruses were catchy or not. J. Cole has never been like a really, now the new not the new J. Cole, but like the evolved J. Cole has never been the type to like put a catchy chorus in a song, or like a really high energy chorus. It's really just him like paying more attention to the verses as well. So I saw a lot of people criticizing him on the choruses, but I mean, it's debatable. I'll just leave it at that. Moving on, we have track 4, The Cutoff, featuring his alter ego, Kill Edward. Now, I did enjoy the song. I just wish J. Cole did a little bit more on the lyrics. I do enjoy the message he's trying to bring, but I just wish the lyrics were a little bit better. Moving on, we have track 5, ATM. Now, we got the music video to this, which is really entertaining if you haven't seen it already. He sells his arm for a car, and that's pretty much grasps the concept on this. It's like people being so attached to money. And I feel like throughout this album, even though like primarily he touches on a lot of subjects instead of just focusing on like pinpointing one thing, but I do like what he did on this song, and I do love the instrumental to this. So yeah, overall, great song. He snapped on the last verse too, so peep the last verse of this song because that shit is fire. Moving on, we have track 6, Motivate, and this is one of my favorite songs on the album. I think so far, KOD definitely for sure. Photograph I thought was enjoyable. ATM was fire. Motivate is also fire, and this reminded me of Kendrick. I don't know if you're familiar, but Kendrick Lamar's Levitate song. Like the choruses are so similar. But overall, I do love what J. Cole did with this song, and I love where he starts off saying like, too many times swallow my pride, I'm popping a pill, I'm trying to, like, that whole thing is fire. That whole cadence is amazing. So moving on towards the end of the album, we have track 7 and track 8, Kevin's Heart and Brackets. And I didn't really care too much about Kevin's Heart, but Brackets, I thought he spits a really like meaningful verse towards the end of the song, where he's basically wondering where all his like tax money is going to, and essentially questions like his tax money. He spits. It's hard to describe. Definitely go listen. But he spits a verse saying like his tax money is going to politicians who are fueling like support of guns, and those guns end up in his neighborhoods, and thus resulting in the death of kids who aren't really involved in, like, had nothing to do with it whatsoever, but just got caught in crossfire. And like, unfortunately, that's the sad truth with a lot of neighborhoods in America. If you follow my Twitter, oh my god, it's a whole discussion. Definitely do that. But yeah, overall great message towards the song. I definitely think a lot of people should listen to this. And he also like offers an alternative. Like, he wishes like it's 2018, and he wishes like, why isn't there an app where he could like pick where the money taken from taxes goes to, so he could support like the construction of streets, his basically the blocks around where he lives, and support those blocks and put the money towards them and helping those kids out, as opposed to like fueling things that cause trouble in his neighborhood. It's very hard to describe, but definitely go listen. It's a very deep song. Moving on, we have track 9, Once an Addict interlude and Friends. So Once an Addict interlude literally sounds like one of his mixtape songs. To enjoy, like, the message throughout all these songs are like, even though people have like the critique, like, oh, it's not as deep as like they wish, the message is still really there. With Friends, he basically goes through a circle of like who to put the blame on, and if he were to like blame, like point fingers at everyone responsible, it would literally take like 200 albums to like write that material, which is like crazy. It's over exaggerated. It's a hyperbole. He's over exaggerating, but you get the message basically saying like he can never, like, if you keep pointing blame at who's responsible, like the web runs so deep that you'll never get towards the end of it. And yeah, that's the sad reality of it. So just to talk about Once an Addict interlude for a little bit. I said before, it reminded me of some of his mixtape stuff, because he definitely, and this is something that unfortunately I didn't see a lot of people talk about in their reviews, that J. Cole references Mother's Addiction, which he has before on numerous songs, on a few songs on his mixtape, and a few songs here and there he sprinkled it a bit. But you have to be a fan to like realize he's talking about like, this runs deep. Like, this is the first time he's talking about his mother's addiction and how it impacted him as a kid and how it like messed him up. And I thought that was a good callback to some of his earlier stuff. And if you want, I'll post a link to like certain songs on my Twitter that like J. Cole I should probably do that. Just post a link to like songs that J. Cole's references, like his mother's addiction before. Because then you listen to those old songs and you listen to like this song, and it gives you like a new perspective of just how this really messed him up as a kid, because he keeps going like back to it. Moving on towards the end of the album, we have Window Pane outro and 1985 intro to the Fall Off. Now I mainly just want to talk about 1985 intro to the Fall Off, because now with 1985, do you remember when Everybody Dies came out, and like Everybody Dies and False Prophets both came out, and like everyone's going crazy over Everybody Dies because like basically J. Cole gave all of mumble rap and L in one song, in like 1 2 minute song, which is crazy. That's one of my favorite J. Cole songs. But just go. He basically does the same thing here, but instead of just like completely like just like shitting on them for a good like 2 minutes, he basically gives them some proper advice on what to do and like to keep on touring, because basically you don't getting paid from streams is so hard nowadays, and basically most money in music comes from touring, because that's where most of the revenue is. Touring merch probably, because music sales, like no one buys. Well, some people still do, but like not a lot of people buy physical copies anymore. And a label takes a percentage of the physical copies anyway, so it's better. And they do take a percentage of touring, but it's better to tour because you make so much. Like the amount of money you make is exponentially like greater than just album sales. So basically, gives them advice to keep on touring, and that eventually, like if you keep riding like this wave of like promoting drugs and just basically like releasing turn up music, like, but like, it's not this, because there's turn up music that's generally like really good, but he's referring to like Little Pump's, like, you know, like hit that kind of song, like it's Get It, and like some of those, like that, and what's the other song he has, Gucci Gang, like basically referring to like those two songs. And he's saying how like the state of like hip hop has changed so much, and like if you keep riding this wave of like promoting drugs and getting tats on your face or whatever, getting tats on your face for the wrong reason, eventually your career is going to decline. And he ends the song perfectly, saying how like in 5, like just remember when I told you when your shit flop, in 5 years you're gonna end up in love and hip hop, which is like the ultimate burn. But essentially he's basically like trying to like not mentor, but like show like Little Pump, like he references Little Pump's like FJ Cole song, and he's basically saying like trying to like give him some proper advice as a veteran in the game. I'm basically saying like, oh, like I'll probably last, because regardless of the fact, like even if I don't make turn up music, my skills with the pen will still be there, and eventually the like your fan base is gonna grow up and realize like, hey, there's no real meaning behind this music. I'm not saying all music has to have meaning, but they're gonna realize like, hey, I'm kind of getting too mature for this kind of music. And eventually, if your fans don't, when the artist grows, you expect your fan base to grow as well, and that won't happen with these kind of like artists. So yeah, overall, I thought it was a solid album. Definitely feel like he could have done a little bit better with some of the direct references to drugs and substance abuse, even though he did on some tracks. I feel like some tracks could have gone a little bit deeper in, but I still think it's a very solid debut for J. Cole, and I really hope we get a video for 1985. And yeah, I thought it was pretty solid. Solid J. Cole project. I didn't think it was boring or anything. I definitely think it's improvement from For Your Eyes Only. I think it falls a little short between his not his first album, but his second Forest Hills Drive album. But I still think it's pretty solid in his catalog. And yeah, all I really have. Let me know what you thought of the project. Like, subscribe to the video, and peace out.